Hi, today I'm speaking with Dr. Christina Bjorndal. She's a naturopathic doctor with a focus in mental health and has helped so many patients with her own experience of recovering from her own mental health struggles. So today I wanted to ask her her own experience with how she blends the physiological and physical with the mental. And I know that when she works with patients who are struggling with mental health, she often does a lot of work helping them to work with their thoughts. And so, Chris, I wanted to ask you today, how do you work with your patients to help them manage their thoughts?
Yeah, so one of the things I learned this from my own naturopathic doctor when I was struggling with depression and anxiety, and it's called the 4 R's of working with problematic thoughts. Is that's what initially started off, and then I added a few more steps to it, but we'll just start with the basics. So the first thing is we want to understand that most people are just living from the neck up, and we're discounting our body. And so what happens is we often have a thought that then triggers an emotion, which then triggers another thought, which triggers an emotion. And you just go round and round and round. And often you stay stuck in these feelings of depression and anxiety and fear and insomnia and irritability. And the list goes on and on. So we want to learn how to break the cycle. And so this is where the 4 R's come in. So the first R is recognize. So you have to ask yourself what's happening between these two ears. Is the nature of the thought you're thinking serving you or sabotaging you? Is it based in fear or is it based in love? Is it based in basically, like I said, sabotage or service? And what we want to understand and why this is so important is there's 2 branches to your nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. So think stress and relaxed. And the thoughts that we think create neuropeptides, which then affect the hormones that get produced, which then affect how you feel. And this is called psychoneuroimmunology, and we'll reference another video that we've done together about that explains that a little further. But I just want you to understand that your thoughts do affect how you feel. So we want to be paying attention to what is the nature of them. Is this helpful? Is it hurtful? Right? Then once you recognize, perhaps you're in that zone that you don't need to be in, like with the inner critic beating yourself up, then we want to go to the second R, which is basically refrain. So we want to stop ourselves. Once we recognize that we're in the danger zone, we want to stop that spiral. And we stop by relaxing into the breath. So relaxation is the third step here. And with that, I want people to really understand, just like I said, most people are living from the neck up. We're also just breathing with the top little bits of our lungs, right? Our lungs go all the way down to our diaphragm. And when we take a proper diaphragmatic breath where we're fully engaging, sitting right underneath that diaphragm, on top of your kidneys is your adrenal glands. And what are your adrenal glands generally doing? So what I just said a minute ago, your thoughts create neuropeptides, which then affect the hormones that get produced, where your adrenal glands produce hormones. One of them is cortisol, and that keeps you stuck in a stressed or sympathetic state. So it's really like we are physiologically designed to calm ourselves down if we would only just take this pause and opportunity to reflect on what's happening between these 2 ears. So the 4th R here is you got to repeat this process. So those 3 steps, right? Refrain or recognize, refrain, relax. We want to be doing that continually throughout the day. So I know for myself, when I was first taught this, I said to my doctor, well, I'm going to be doing this all day long because my thoughts were really bad at that time. I was pretty much rolled up in a ball in the corner of my room, crying in the fetal position for most of the day, trying not to kill myself. That's pretty much where I was at. I don't think you get much lower than that. And that was a really huge part of the prescription for me. And at first I thought, really? Like, that's all you're going to ask me to do? But I realized that, he really was the first person that ever actually asked me who taught me how to manage my mind. Up until then, I really was at the mercy of it. And I hadn't learned how to sort of separate myself a little bit from the thoughts, and realize that I don't have to believe every thought I have, and neither do you. Right. So you want to learn to be like your brain is like a bus, and you're the driver of the bus, and you're going to let your thoughts are the passengers, and so you're going to decide which ones you're going to let on the bus and which ones you're going to just drive right on by, and you're not even going to pick up. You're going to or you're going to kick off your bus, right? So you got to understand that you are in control of not much in life. The one thing you are in control of is the thoughts that you think. So that's it in a nutshell, is the sort of that simplified version. And then maybe the next time we come together, we'll talk about some other steps that you can do to build on that. But for now, I just want people to really practice the recognizing, refraining, relaxing into the breath. And what we'll do is we'll do another talk on, and the breathing step, just that alone requires, I think, some further explanation. But for now, just see if you can pause and take a deep breath.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a simple but really impactful and powerful practice. And I think the more simple you make it by keeping it into these very distinct actions that we can take with our thoughts, the easier it'll become. And then, as you said, there are more steps we can take to establish them a little bit more. But I just want to thank you for that. It's a beautiful practice, and it can really change the way that we relate to our own thoughts. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, we'll look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Sounds great.